Hey folks, Jonathan again. Picked up a piece of steel for my outriggers. This is what I'm going to use down the side of the frame. We try to kind of hard to explain, so I'll probably just do it and show you. But this is 11-inch high beam. Got a 1/2 inch flanges, 3/8 in the center, and they're 8 inches wide at the top, which is pretty wide. But we're actually going to make this into a piece of channel iron, and it'll bolt down the side of the frame, and then the outrigger, where it runs across, will sit up inside of it. So like I said, it'd be a lot easier to show you than it would be to explain to you what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the truck, and it's about, I think it's about 7 foot long. It's a piece that it was actually 30 foot long when I took it to the guy, and he needed it, and another friend of mine had it, and they done a deal for it, and I hauled it for him, and didn't charge him for hauling it. And then he told me that the leftover piece here I could have, and so that worked out really good for me and good for him, and it's out of the way. But the bad part is where it was at, we couldn't load it with a machine. I had to load it by hand, and you know, it's kind of heavy, and my back's still regretting it. But we're going to go ahead and get it unloaded here and get to cutting on it, and I'll show you what I'm going to do and how I'm going to use it. Okay folks, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut this lip off and this lip off, and I've got to take off the extra plate that they've got welded on it, and I'm actually going to make this into a piece of channel iron instead of an I-beam, and so we can bolt it on where we need it. The problem is, when I cut this, there's a chance that even though this is 1/2 inch plate, and you know, it's 8 inches wide, there's a good chance when I cut down it all the way that this thing may warp. Say we may end up ruining this piece. We're hoping not, but we're going to see what happens. I'll get it all cut off, and we'll leave it laying on this bed, that way it's good, and this rollback bed, that way it's good and flat, that way we can really check it and see how bad it does warp it. But first thing, we got to get this extra piece welded on it off of it, and we'll cut it away. And it's kind of bad because we need to cut right down through here, and it's about in the middle, so it's going to be in a bad spot. So we'll get it cut off, and we'll end up having to grind everything and clean it all up. But basically what we're trying to do is make a piece of channel iron, but a good heavy piece, and like I said, without having to spend any money. So let's get to cutting, and I'll show you what happens, and hopefully she won't warp real bad. And I mean, just a little bit won't matter, but you know, a lot of times the steel's under pressure, and you really know it when you start cutting it apart. But I will show you more when I get some cut on it. Okay folks, I decided to go ahead and cut off this lip first, and the reason I done that is I didn't want to spend a bunch of time cutting this off and straightening everything up, and then finding out after I cut it it was going to warp real bad. Got a little bit of grinding to do, but not bad. But I was real surprised. It didn't really warp at all. Now my piece coming off, I'm sure it's warped, and I can't get down there and see up it, but you know, it's normal for it to actually bow in this direction, and when you cut it, and you can actually bring that back if you heat it on the cut side. And like if you was going to weld that in place somewhere and you needed it straight, you can heat it on the cut side, and it'll actually bring it back straight. And you would think it would be heating it on the uncut side, but it don't work like that. And but I can see that it's got, you know, it's got a pretty good bow in it. But I might be able to get the camera to the top and see if it shows up here. I really can't tell looking there. I mean, I can see it by eye, but I can't see it on the camera. So, but that's not a problem. And that's just an extra 1/2 inch plate we can use to cut up and do something with. And we'll go ahead and get the other side cleaned up, and you know, grind this off how we want it, and we should have us a nice heavy piece of channel that, you know, should be plenty strong enough for what we want to do with it. So I'm going to get back to cutting, and I'll show you more. Okay folks, instead of cleaning the other piece off, I just cut through the whole thing. Total, that was almost an inch cut there, but we've got it cut off. I'll clean that corner up. I'll come down and cut it long ways down and then grind it. But of course may have to recut a little bit here because this is a little bit high, but not a problem. I mean, not a big deal at all. We'll grind it, but real impressed and real surprised that it didn't warp it bad. It's actually pretty daggone straight. And now as I was cutting the other piece down the other side, you know, it raised up about an inch. So I mean, I know it warped the other piece, but it's not a problem at all. So I'm real impressed with it, and I think it's going to make a real good piece of channel there. And I'm going to go ahead and try to get it cleaned off some, get it ground, and then I'm probably going to need them about something like 2 foot a piece, I think. So we'll cut 2 pieces off the right length, and then grind that, and then I'll start showing you where they're going and how they're going to work. All right, show you more. Okay folks, really rough here. I don't have anything ground down or anything like that, but got the outrigger up under the truck, and stand back a little bit and let you see what I've got here, and got it just about where I needed. I got to do the final measuring and stuff, but you can see what I've done with the piece of channel I made, and that's going to be heavy enough. I don't have to worry about it. This is actually going to have a plate on it, and will be bolted into that, and instead of welding it, that way I can take it on and off. This piece here will be welded into my subframe and then bolted into the truck frame. So that was what I needed that for, and you can see I don't even have the slag knocked off of it there. I've got to grind it yet. Just wanted to show you before it got dark on me what I was doing, and we'll get the other one ready for the other side. And I've got some bolts behind this, that's why it's got a big gap in it, but we'll take them bolts out and then drill the holes for them and go ahead and we'll get that bolted on and get our plates made for our outrigger. That way we can bolt it into here also, and I think that will hold it just fine. And I'll probably come in the bottom. I may come in and cut part of this out and actually bend this in, and this will come down and then, you know, come in to the same length, the width as that, and you know, we just want to make it look decent and hold good. And I mean, I think that's going to be plenty enough strength. That's you know, that's a pretty heavy piece. So and I thought that was 11 inch, but that's actually 12-inch I-beam, or was 12-inch I-beam. So, but you get the idea of what I was planning on, and that's a little bit easier than using plate and, you know, having to weld a lot of supports on it and stuff. So, but we will get back on it and get some more done. But didn't get much done again. You know, it's getting dark now, so weather's supposed to be good though, and you know, depends on how many tows we get and how busy I am. And I ordered a new static converter for my phase converter. I was putting that off because I was trying to figure out if I wanted to go bigger or not, and that's the second time I've burnt a static box up, and I've got one machine that's making it burn up, and I'm going to quit using that machine. It's too many, you know, the motor owns too many horsepower for my phase converter. And the first time I burned it up was back last year, and then in June I bought a new one, and then now I've burned it up again, and it's my own fault. It's not the static boxes, it's actually my problem. So, but got a new one coming, so I can get back to doing some good machine work, and you know, I'll get my pins finished up for my carriage and get it on. But we've got to go ahead and get the rest of this subframe all mounted and everything, get these outriggers mounted. So and like I said, I'm going to make it bolt on. I don't want to weld it in permanent. I mean, it'd be nice to weld it in permanent, make it a lot easier, but I've got to be able to take that off. If you look, I've actually tucked it up as high as I could, but you know, it's right just under my transfer case, and you know, it's not going to hit anything, and I've got clearance. But you know, I try to get it up as high as I can get it, and ground clearance here, if I can find my measuring tape, I'll let you know what that is. Let me see here, man. Give me just a second. Sorry about all the moving of the camera here. Still got a little over 17 inches of ground clearance, and I don't have the big tires on the front or anything yet. So, you know, we'll probably end up with at least 20 inches of ground clearance there. So, you know, I don't think there's going to be a problem there, and you know, it won't be that close to the ground. So, anyway, appreciate everybody watching, subscribing, commenting, liking, and I'll try to get another video up maybe tomorrow night. Bye.